What's up, everybody? Chris Driven here. So, as you guys might have seen my recent video, I am going to be switching over to some real life stuff aside from just doing cars. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like being unemployed in California because it freaking sucks, okay? And I pray to God that nobody or that no kids are watching this because first, I don't want any child to be on YouTube. Second, I'd rather them not hear a lot of the real life stuff at the moment. They should be kids being outside playing, enjoying life. I don't want them to be on their iPad watching little old Chris Driven suffering and, talking about some things that they may end up dealing with. Hopefully they don't. But yeah, so like I said, right now it sucks because being unemployed is about the worst feeling ever, especially for somebody who has been working since they were 16. I didn't start working right away, right after I turned 16. I think I got in around, I don't know, sometime after. It doesn't really matter. But point is, it feels extremely terrible. And today I actually got a citation because there's a street where our apartment is at and they're parked on the street. It's no problem at all. And it's just one of those days, I guess, that they ended up catching me. But the apartment we're living at, $75 to pay for parking. And, coming in, we didn't have all this money in the world, and we still don't. So that's also part of the issue with living in California, is if you don't have money coming in like we do, it's going to be almost impossible to really survive. Luckily, my wife, yes, she's getting money from the school or loans and all that, but that's only going to keep us afloat so much. So that is why coming here, it's all on me to be able to have a job, work, and support the family. And the family is, her and our dogs and cats. And yes, I'm driving. I'm a really good driver, so don't worry about me crashing and whatnot. I can focus on driving. I can pretty much put myself on autopilot at this point. So, yeah, just like I said, being unemployed, it's just the worst feeling ever for me because I hate being unproductive and knowing that I'm not making money by posting these YouTube videos right now at this time that I'm recording. So it just makes it a lot more worse. And anytime that I'm just filming videos, whether it's for YouTube or TikTok, I feel like I'm completely wasting my time, which in a way it could probably be that way. But I just need to escape this whole having to rely on, jobs and everything. I wish I could be making money at the time that, I'm going to be posting this video. But that's also why I'm doing everything that I possibly can to get our decal small business going. It's Spot On Designs by Rina, R-I-N-A. I'm obviously not going to completely rely on that, but that's just supposed to be a separate income apart from, working and having a job. But I've been applying like about at least 2 months or even a month in advance before moving out here. So if you're watching this and you're going to move to California, please make sure to apply months in advance. The only reason why I didn't do it months in advance is because I thought that, if a job was already going to give me an offer and then they end up turning me away because, I wouldn't be able to move until like months later, whenever it is that they were offering me the job at the time. So there's also somebody that I want to give a huge thanks to because I think he just gave me an entire huge boost in life. Not so much by his comment, but You may or may not know who he is. His name is Ian on YouTube, or it's Ian on YouTube. And just seeing what he's doing just by posting almost daily has kind of given me some hope on what I should do. And in the meantime, that, I do have time right now. So yeah, this is just going to be kind of the daily life of what it's like being unemployed in California until I get employed. Just so you know too, if you're still watching, my wife and I, we do have our own YouTube channel. It's based off of mostly collectibles and antiques, but we also do love traveling and food. All that comes with already visiting all these random collectible and antique stores. Is, you travel out and you eat food and enjoy life pretty much. So I pray to God that something happens. It's really going to take a miracle to save me, in the sense of, getting a job. And I'm not sure if I shared it yet, but there is possibly one single opportunity, one chance to get into a job right now, because after 30, 40 jobs that I've applied to, this one place, which is at Acura, it's at a dealership, has reached out to me. And I did do a second interview. So by August 19th, they told me to either call them or that they would reach out to let me know whether or not that they were going to take me. They did tell me too that, they want to give other people a chance to interview. So yeah, I really hope they end up taking me, because this is obviously a channel that was already built around, being passionate about being an automotive enthusiast. And like I've said before too, it's not just about cars or trucks. Like, it's also just experiencing like anything that involves riding something. So it might not just be automotive. For me personally, I love to do a little bit of everything, and that also involves like riding bikes and scooters, off-roading, ATVs, like everything, a little bit of everything. So that's really what I want to get across. But I do have to shift kind of what I'm doing as far as content. And what that means too is people need to remember that you yourself are the content. And that's what I've been telling myself too, is that I can only do so much when it comes to vehicles. Like, yeah, I can review and share the experience of, living with the Toyota RAV4 that I have and I'm driving, taking our dogs places, or me and my wife traveling. And she also has her Honda Civic as well. But right now, the story of this hero losing, as in me, because I want to be somebody that can help other people. And for me, in my eyes, like my end goal is to be able to give people money unexpectedly and, just bless everybody, because I understand and still know what it's like to struggle. So don't compare me to Mr. Beast. He's going to do what he does, or what he used to do at least. And Chris is going to do what Chris does. And that's really the reason why I need to make it out of this and make a comeback, because I have a purpose in life, and a part of that is, unfortunately, going through these experiences. But that's to make sure that I am humbled for life. So if you guys want to support the channel, support our family, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, our Born to Explore. We do have our TikToks as well, but I will mostly be just sharing what we're doing here on YouTube, aside from whatever's going on TikTok. But yeah, here through YouTube, I will do some posts daily until I can get a job. And then even from there, I'll do whatever I can to share, like either my point of view or whatever's going on. But yeah, so that's the story so far. Before I moved out here, I was working as a plumber's apprentice, and it's just crazy. I've been applying like crazy to everywhere, and nowhere has reached out. So it would be an amazing opportunity to get that job at Acura, because I know even with posting lots of daily content that I could eventually get invited out to wherever they want to fly me to experience their new cars and everything, and possibly get into one of their race cars one day. For me, I love go-karting. That is one thing that I absolutely love and enjoy doing. So K1 Speed was something that I got to experience on our bachelor trip to Colorado. So that was amazing. That's just a quick little story on how I fell in love with go-karting. But gosh damn, just going so fast in those karts, and it just felt natural. So yeah, let me get back to what it feels like though to be unemployed. Sorry, I got off track. I do talk a lot, but it's just I get so deep into conversation, and even with myself, and sharing this is kind of like just documenting the experience of what I'm going through right now. My wife, she's going to veterinary school, and that's the reason why we are out here, because she is attending veterinary school, and she's going to be there for at least 4 years. So that is why, luckily, I am out here with her, because if she moved out alone, even if she had a roommate, it just would not be the same, and I know we probably wouldn't end up together. Not sure how things would go, even though we just got married as well on June 7th, but yeah, we've always talked about it, and I've told her, especially from my end, I could not be with somebody if we're having a long distance relationship, because we're human, but maybe it's the way that I'm built, but I need that personal connection with somebody. So that's typically why it's been really easy for me to move with her. But yeah, so every day out here in California, there's DoorDash and Uber Eats, but there was one day I did DoorDash and Uber Eats both at the same time, and I got a total of $28. So that was, after I dropped my wife off at school around 8 a.m. And then from there I started working and got $28 out of the entire day of food delivery. If you could imagine how terrible it is. And that just shows you too how many other people might be doing that, because from what it looks like on comments I've been reading, a lot of people are unemployed out here in California. It's just something that I wasn't really expecting out here. I just thought, oh yeah, bigger city. It's bigger than, where we came from, El Paso, Texas. But yeah, people are having a really hard time to get a job. Like, how is that even possible? So just for future reference, anybody who wants to move out here as well, you really do have to make the effort to get hired somewhere. And that's just kind of the rule of life. If you really want to work somewhere, you will call them, you will show interest, you will possibly even show up in person if you absolutely need to talk to the manager, and really just show up. So that is part of what you need to do. And yeah, that is the life. I will be posting daily, as I said. Please, like I said, consider subscribing to this channel if you want to support my family and I, because these are some desperate times, and the Lord knows we need help. And that's not me being exaggerative or anything, but yeah, we really do need some help. It's just crazy. If money wasn't a thing, but I won't get into that conversation. Anyway, I will talk to everybody later on, and make sure, no matter how hard it gets in life, even when I got that citation, it drove me nuts. I had to do some VR boxing to kind of get over it and let myself cool down, because the emotions were just going through the roof at the time. But yeah, just stay driven no matter what. Even though it's extremely hard, there's all these negative thoughts and things you're telling yourself that you're just, that you don't even want to be here in life. Like, that's how That's how bad it is. And this is why I'm telling you too that I don't want any kids watching any of my videos right now, because I don't want to be seen as an idol to them. Much rather, I think a lot of the adults especially do need help. I know there's kids out there that are in need of help, but right now, for the people that do run the world and are contributing to making sure that, you know, people have the things that they need wherever it is. So that's why I appreciate people who are working at fast food places, like cutting hair, like everything and anything. I want to be able to surprise them. But once again, too, if you want to be able to have huge giveaways later on in the future, as far as like just free money, like gift cards for like your groceries, gas. And I would love to do giveaways to get people new tires, get their brakes taken care of, get their oil changed, you know, car maintenance, because this channel is built around automotive. So that is another huge way that I would like to make an impact in people's lives. And that's taking care of their vehicle, which also leads into making sure that the community is safe. Because could you imagine somebody rolling around with bald tires and terrible brakes? That just causes a huge danger to other people. So the way that I am, the things that I want to do in life, it's just the way that I am. It's not to look good on video or any of that. So it's just a part of my mission, I guess. But aside from that, sharing just life experiences, living life is what I'm about. And then helping people along the way. So like I said, support the channel and you guys will see many, many great things come from me. I know it's hard to trust many other people who may set a bad example and end up doing bad things, but I can assure everybody who is watching this that I have lots of good intentions and I will use that influence and power for good. So, Lug Watch. I love Spider-Man, okay? So, I feel like I should tell people more than enough that I will be somebody who is responsible, and I'm not trying to buy Lamborghinis or any of that when I have all this money that I can spend. It's going to be used for the greater good of helping people out. And obviously I'll have the cars that I want, but I'm not about that luxury life. I just enjoy the simple life of freedom, which is what it's mainly about. But yeah. So best of luck to everybody, and I hope to see you guys in a future video. Comment down below if you are going through something, or if you want to talk to me, or whatever it is, you know, comment section is there. But stay driven once again.